Formula One has always been a game of marginal gains, but in 2025, the story unfolding around aerodynamics is more than just marginal. It's defining the competitive order of the grid. Through 5 races into the season, an increasingly clear pattern is emerging. And while most fans are captivated by the lap times and overtakes, what's happening underneath the surface, the balance between downforce, drag, and overall aero efficiency, is what's truly deciding race outcomes. Among the top 4 teams, McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes, there's one team showing a clear, deliberate difference in philosophy: McLaren. In this video, we're diving deep into the aerodynamic war playing out this season. Not just the numbers, but the reasoning behind the designs, how different tracks bring out the strengths and weaknesses in each car, and most importantly, why McLaren may have found the most complete solution. No fluff, no hype, just real insight for fans who want to understand what's really going on. Let's start by setting the stage. There are 3 pillars of aerodynamic competitiveness in Formula One. Downforce, which presses the car into the track for grip. Aero efficiency, which is the ability to create downforce without excessive drag. And aero balance, which is how well that downforce is distributed across the car as speed and direction change throughout a lap. In simple terms, it's not just about having grip, it's about having the right grip where you need it when you need it. So far in 2025, McLaren appear to have found the best balance of all 3. Their car delivers consistent performance across varying track types, from high-speed flowing layouts to more technical circuits. Compare that to Red Bull, a team that for the past 2 years set the aerodynamic benchmark, but are now showing cracks in their once unshakable dominance. The RB21 struggles to maintain aero balance in long-duration corners, such as the sweeping turn 13 at Jeddah or turns 4 and 11 at Bahrain. Despite Max Verstappen's brilliance, even he can't outdrive instability mid-corner when the car's rear is asking questions the front can't answer. Then we have Mercedes and Ferrari. Mercedes have made genuine strides with a more predictable and efficient car, especially in terms of rear stability. Ferrari, on the other hand, are still dealing with a narrow operating window, fast on a clean lap, but inconsistent when the track or tire condition shifts. They share a trait with Red Bull in struggling with balance mid-corner, especially at high speeds. Their car looks quick in sectors that rely on straight-line pace, but loses time when it needs to rotate fluidly through a sweeping corner. One of the best ways to compare aerodynamic philosophy is to study how teams set up their rear wings at different types of circuits. And this is where the differences really start to show. Let's take Bahrain and Jeddah, 2 circuits with very different demands. Bahrain is a high downforce track, demanding strong braking stability and traction out of slower corners. Jeddah, by contrast, is all about straight-line speed and rapid directional changes, requiring a leaner aero package. In Bahrain, McLaren ran arguably the most aggressive rear wing configuration. Their wing featured a large main plane and flap area, optimized to generate maximum downforce without creating excessive drag. Ferrari followed with a slightly smaller but still significant wing setup. Mercedes chose a lower downforce rear wing, while Red Bull went with an extremely trimmed-out solution from Max Verstappen, possibly too trimmed out in hindsight, considering how unsettled the car looked through the longer bends. Why is that important? Because it reveals how confident McLaren are in their car's base aerodynamic platform. They aren't relying on shortcuts to find lap time. They're trusting the overall balance of the car, and they're willing to accept more drag if it means more stable and consistent grip through corners. When the paddock moved to Saudi Arabia, the tables turned in terms of wing choices. Here, Mercedes decided to go aggressive, running a high downforce rear wing comparable to McLaren's. Ferrari and Red Bull, again, stuck to their low drag preferences. Yet even at Jeddah, a track that typically punishes too much downforce, McLaren remained strong. That's because their underfloor, the part of the car most responsible for total downforce generation, is doing much of the heavy lifting. It allows them to keep a stable platform without relying solely on the rear wing to deliver downforce. It's important to remember that in modern F1, up to 2/3 of a car's downforce comes from the underbody. That's why a well-designed floor, diffuser, and beam wing combination is vital. The beam wing, in particular, plays a big role in energizing the airflow underneath the main wing and directing air to the diffuser. McLaren's design in this area is proving to be both clever and consistent. Let's look at some numbers to back this up. At Jeddah, Verstappen's top speed in Q3 was 332 kilometers per hour, but that was with a tow from teammate Yuki Tsunoda. Without the tow, his speed dropped significantly. Meanwhile, McLaren's speed trap figures were competitive despite running a larger wing. That tells us that McLaren have found an efficient way to create downforce without paying a huge penalty in top speed. It also suggests that their car is better at minimizing drag in high-speed conditions, thanks to how their underfloor is shaped and how the air flows through and around their bodywork. Now, let's return to turn 13 at Jeddah. It's the only long-duration corner on the track, and it brutally exposes any imbalance in a car's aero platform. Verstappen was visibly slower here than his rivals, despite being fastest over the whole lap. That's because his car struggled to maintain stability mid-corner. In Bahrain, the problem was even worse, especially in turns 4 and 11, where Verstappen had to wrestle the car to keep it planted. This isn't a criticism of Red Bull's design, but rather a sign that their concept, while still fast in the right conditions, is more track-sensitive than it used to be. And this is where McLaren stand out. Their car behaves consistently across a variety of conditions, giving both Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri the confidence to push the limits without unpredictability creeping in mid-lap. What we're seeing is not just a fast car, but a car that's easy to drive fast. That matters, especially in races where tire degradation is high, where wind conditions shift mid-session, or where temperature drops between qualifying and the race. A stable platform means you don't have to second-guess the car's behavior. It's worth pointing out that this transformation from McLaren hasn't happened overnight. It's the result of years of incremental improvement, a team that's built its aero department around collaboration, data refinement, and confidence in a long-term direction. Under the leadership of Andrea Stella and the technical overhaul brought in during 2023 and 2024, McLaren have built a car that is not only fast, but scalable, meaning it can keep evolving through the season without running into fundamental flaws. As we look ahead to the rest of the 2025 season, the aerodynamic war is going to be crucial. As upgrades roll out, teams will be pushing harder than ever to fine-tune their packages. But if McLaren continue on this trajectory, they could be the team that finds consistent performance across every type of circuit, not just the ones that suit their car. That's how championships are built, not through flashes of brilliance, but through consistent execution, lap after lap, weekend after weekend. And in a year where the margins are razor thin, that's what could make all the difference. McLaren's rise in 2025 is not just a feel-good story. It's a masterclass in aerodynamic development and execution. They're not just building a fast car, they're building a complete one. For those of us who follow this sport closely, it's a beautiful thing to witness. A team returning to the top not by chance, but by choosing the right technical battles and winning them with precision. If you've enjoyed this deep dive and learned something new about the aerodynamic battle shaping this season, don't forget to subscribe. Every week, we bring you real F1 insights, not just headlines. Whether it's car philosophy, race strategy, or driver psychology, this is your place to understand the sport at a deeper level. Hello, McLaren faithfuls. Stand a chance of winning $1,000 by hitting that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe so you never miss any McLaren and F1 updates with relaxing ASMR elements. McLaren Faithful's YouTube channel is now covered in English and multiple languages. Your support is what keeps this incredible community growing stronger every day. It costs you nothing to like and subscribe, but it helps the channel tremendously. Let's continue the conversation and share our passion for McLaren and F1 together. As a YouTube member, you can also discover my journey as a passionate creator navigating life with challenging disabilities. Despite the obstacles, I'm determined to follow my dreams and share my love for McLaren and F1 with the world. By becoming a YouTube member, you'll not only be supporting my dream, but you'll also gain access to exclusive content, including untold stories of legendary F1 drivers and much more. Your support can truly make a difference in my life, helping me continue to do what I love. Join McLaren Faithful's membership below and enjoy.